It's 5 o'clock, Friday, which for them would have been leading towards Saturday, the Sabbath, which is why, as Jesus is removed from the cross, he is placed very hurriedly in Joseph's tomb. He is placed there wrapped in linen strips mixed with myrrh and aloe. He is placed there as a hasty preparation for the fact that he needs to be buried. It's an interesting thing to bury the Son of God, to bury the Savior, to really kind of finalize everything that has happened over the course of the day. The Joseph and Nicodemus and probably some of the other of his followers, the ladies, most would have come and prepared his body for burial. Jesus is being buried. In addition to that, because he had promised and predicted that he would rise from the dead, there was a large stone that was rolled over the opening to the tomb, and Roman guards placed there to prove that he would not rise again, that his predictions would not come true. You and I both know what happens next, but for them, this was normal. This was how they wanted to make sure that everything went as planned. You know, it makes me think, here we are, we're thinking about Easter on Sunday, but even right now, just as we think about Jesus's body being prepared, it allows us to think about, how are we preparing? How are we preparing in our minds and our hearts and our lives for what God has, not just on Easter, but every day? You know, when we wake up every morning, God has a plan for us. God has a purpose for our lives. How are we preparing ourselves today for what he has for us tomorrow? How are we preparing ourselves this year for what he has for us next year? How are we allowing God to use his word, his church, our community to show us how he is working in our lives today so that we might be ready for the challenges of tomorrow? How, as we reflect on the burial of Jesus and the stone being rolled in front, it was all preparation for what was to come. How are we preparing? How are we allowing God to use the moments of our life to get us ready for where he's taking us?